Guys, don't tell anyone, but I'm wearing 2 different types of yellow. This video is me trying to tie the loose ends of like various series I started on my channel. I started 2 series. One has 1 video and the other one has like more than 1 video. The first one I want to talk about is the Unhating Blank series. I started with, what are the names of those creatures? Dinosaurs. I started with dinosaurs, successfully managed to unhate them. And then I said this at the end of that video. What's next? Smokers. Smokers, of course, is a derogatory term for dragons. I also meant like real life, actual human smokers. Why do you guys insist? People who smoke cigarettes, come to the front of the class. Front of the class, you're in trouble. Why do you guys insist? Because it's illegal to smoke indoors, thank the Lord. Why do you guys insist on gathering near the entrances of businesses and smoking there? Go away. Go away from the rest of us. People who smoke can't smoke unless they are subjecting someone else to the smoke. Like, it's just, half of the fun is making sure that other people are suffering with them nearby. So I did actually read a bunch of books for the dragon thing. Some I didn't finish, but the ones that I did finish were The Buried Giant. There's a dragon in, oh yeah, there is a dragon in that book. The Tea Dragon Society, The Reluctant Dragon, a short story from the 1800s. Gross. And Vainquer the Dragon. I think the most successful ones were The Buried Giant and The Tea Dragon Society. But like, The Buried Giant barely has a dragon. It's not about dragons. It's about forgiveness or whatever. Like, how do you forgive? Can you? What I learned from these books is that I don't actually hate dragons. Turns out I just don't like epic fantasy, which is where you will usually find a dragon. If you take a dragon out of that context, I tend to enjoy it. It's just another creature and I don't hate them. Turns out I just don't like epic fantasy. This kingdom and this kingdom are fighting each other and there's like dragons instead of, I don't know, tanks. They also are horses, unfortunately, medieval tanks. But when you take the dragon out of that context, I like it. Tea Dragon Society was a cozy little middle grade graphic novel about kids raising dragons or something. I don't remember. It was cute. The art was beautiful. Then there was Vainquer. Vainquer was a lit RPG book about a dragon who's like a character in the book. We have a human male character and we experience the story and we experience this dragon through our main character, but the dragon is the star of the show. He like levels up and stuff. It's funny most of the time. Too long, needs editing. Needs serious editing. The book that really actually made me realize that it's not the dragon, it's the context, it's the actual books that they like to put dragons in, was Dracopedia, Field Guide. It's those types of nonfiction books that I like speculative biology nonfiction. The sort of written parts of the book were fine. The art in this book is gorgeous, beautiful art. The other thing is there are different types of dragons. I'm not going to get into it here, but this type of dragon where the type of dragon that has 4 limbs and also wings just didn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to my brain. It doesn't until I think of it as maybe it's an insect. It was just so fun existing in this alternate universe where dragons are real. So if I had completed that video, I would have successfully unhated dragons. And then I was like, what's next? What's next? Witches. I just do not like witches in books at all. I don't get it. Yes, I did grow up watching Charmed. Of course I did. I loved Charmed. Would I watch it now? No. Maybe. And with the witch thing, it's not about context. It's not about the story. It's not like with the dragons or the dinosaurs where it'll depend on the story if I like it or not. I just don't like the idea of witches or wizards, magic. I don't mind reading a book and there's a witch in the book, like the Baba Yaga or something, who's there to sow chaos, Summer Orcus. But the main character, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And the reason why is because I just like books where one of the things that we're doing in the book is troubleshooting and solving problems or figuring something out. And I like it when my main characters or the protagonists and the antagonists are solving problems or creating problems using their normal human bodies and normal human brains. I just want a normal person dealing with something extraordinary using nothing but their brains and bodies and what they can make with their brains and bodies. It just doesn't make sense to me where it's okay, I'm using earth magic to defeat the big bad. Like, what does that mean? Like, what exactly are you extracting from the earth to do? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And like, how are you doing it? Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? You're like, well, sounds like you might like hard magic systems. Not really. So I was going through my list of things that I don't like, which is fairies, fae, vampires, mermaids, dinos, ghosts, zombies, droids, wizards, elves, horses, unicorns, pegasuses. Just fundamentally not for me. So that's the end of that series. I unhated dinosaurs and made a video about it. I unhated dragons, didn't make a video about it. And I still hate witches and didn't make a video about it. Wow. And then the other video series on my channel was the African Book of the Month. These were all the books I was going to read, and I did try all of them because I owned all of them in some form or fashion. So of course I was going to. I got one of my favorite books of all time, Wizard of the Crow, from that series. I love that book. Like, if you like any sort of political satire whatsoever, I would pick it up. It is serious, but there are lots of silly things that happen in that book, and they're taken very seriously, which I love. And then there was The Sleepless by Nuzo Onoh. This book made me think that I like horror. Like, that's how good it is. I don't like horror. It's just this book. And then I read Glory, and Glory was like, it was fine. I think if I'd read Glory before I read Wizard of the Crow, and also if I had not read Animal Farm in high school, which I love Animal Farm, I think I would have liked it more. Glory felt like, like a less interesting version of both of those books combined. And then the other books were I was just like, ugh. Radical Acceptance. There are things that I cannot control. I can't control the publishing industry, and I can't blame the South African book publishing industry, because the demand simply isn't there for speculative African literature. Like, it just isn't. And I know that the demand isn't there, because when you walk into a shiny new bookshop in South Africa, you'll see like Christian stuff is the first thing you'll see on the table. And I don't mean I mean like self-help, like, hey man, God loves you, even though he's okay with watching most of the Earth's population suffer. All of that stuff, whatever. You'll see that. There's self-help is also a big one. There's a huge children's literature section, just like picture books and stuff. There's maybe some YA things in there. And then, you'll get your general fiction, stuff about, I climbed Mount Everest, things like that. Things like that. You'll get like the celebrity books, you'll get the Trevor Noahs, and you'll get like other Gabayelo's book, that stuff. And that tells me, because the bookshop has to make money. So they know their customers, they know what they sell, they know what they need to stock to turn a profit. So that tells me everything I need to know. When I went to a bookshop, I'm like, hey, do you guys have a science fiction section? No. If they do have one, it's like they're at the back of the shop, there's like a shelf at the top. You'll see something, and I go there and it's just nonsense. Yeah. You're not gonna see a spaceship in these books. I do have like a little mini a Peter F. Hamilton book. Yuck. I'm not into buying physical books anymore because I just don't like having stuff. I don't like the feeling of just having like a lot of stuff. I hate it. The few books that I do have are from mom and pop indie bookshops and charity shops as well. So basically my sci-fi collection is like someone's uncle died and left all of the E&M Banks books. Anyway, and that's it. And that's the case online as well. When I'm just browsing online, on the booksellers online, on exclusive books online, you can see exactly where the demand is. It's children's books, it's Christian stuff, it's sometimes Afrikaans novels, yuck. It's sometimes like YA stuff, maybe kind of. And then like occasionally maybe there's like a little fun lit fic book, but like not the weird fun ones. It's usually like I did drugs and it made me sad, those types of books. So where does that leave me? I have reached that stage where legit, I know this sounds like an exaggeration, but I have read all of this. I've tried all of the science fiction books that have been released, all of the African science fiction books. I don't know about indie publishing because like it's hard to find those, but all of the traditionally published African science fiction books I have tried and or read. And that's crazy because it's like 10. And like before you're like, what about this book? I've read it. Let me even give you a deep cut that you don't even know about. It's a book called Triangulum. But like that's it. And there's nothing I can do about it. The demand isn't there. Like if I went to the average South African book and I was like, have you, number one, ever read a science fiction book? And B, would you be interested in reading one? No. And the other thing is, South African adults, generally, we don't tend to read that much. Like, we just don't. It's not our thing. With South African speculative fiction writers, I think they have more success if you publish internationally. Science fiction is niche, just in general. If you do want to support African literature and you are more into like sort of weirder, more interesting litfic rather than the I'm sad because I'm getting a divorce type of book, there's a publisher called, what are they called? Masobe Books. Masobe Books. This is a Nigerian company. Check them out. They usually have like interesting titles. Again, still not for me because there's no spaceships, there's no science, there's no alien, but if you're into that, I would support them. The thing I do like about the library is that they do prioritize stocking. They will always have South African books, like the latest South African book, whatever it is. Most of the time, again, it's litfic, it's general fiction, the type of book that is written to be read at school, to be read and analyzed by teenagers at school, which is fine, which I do like. And also, if they do have international books, they will prioritize non-Western books. So they'll have Japanese literature, which is fine. And again, the demand isn't there, but at the same time, I'm like, is the demand not there, or are we just not exposed to it? Like, how many of you in high school, which is when most people do most of their reading because they're forced to, how many of you ever, whether you're South African or not, were exposed to like a science fiction book? And I mean like science fiction, not like a dystopian novel. Sci-fi is niche everywhere, but it's very niche here as well. Thank God for Nigeria, by the way. One day someone will release a big space South African book and I'm going to read it and I might like it. Oh, another thing, I love how like people are getting into there is no Antimemetics Division. I like how popular it is now because I get to be smug that I was an early adopter. Whenever I see it on somebody's, like, whenever I see it in like a video thumbnail, recent reads, and there is no Antimemetics, I'm like, oh, only now? I read it when it was like already pretty popular when it came out. So, but when I get to feel smug, I love it. Oh my God, I love it. I like it when these types of science fiction books get big and popular. Just like with 3 Body Problem, when that became big and mainstream, I was so happy because it's like, it can't just be Andy Weir every time. Anyway, I'll see you guys.